Join Forum IS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello friends, this is Vijay. A very good evening. In our today's discussion, we are going to discuss some 5 topics. The first one is related to Universal Civil Code. So, a progressive UCC must protect child's best interest. So, this is the first article we are going to discuss. It came in the editorial section. Then secondly, we are having an article related to Open Network Digital Commerce. ONDC, a pivotal force set to enhance digital commerce, right? Then thirdly, it is an article related to international relation. After India, Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia protest against China's map. So this is the third article. And with respect to this article, we will be seeing some 2 maps. One is related to South China Sea and another one is related to Indochina. Okay. Then fourthly, we are having an article related to Ramon Magsaysay Award. Oncologist Ravi Kannan wins a Ramon Magsaysay Award. Then lastly, it is an article related to Chandrayaan. Chandrayaan finds plasma on moon. These 3 articles, they are significant for both prelims and mains, right? So the respective significance had been given here. You can make a note out of it. Now, with this note, let us move on to the discussion part. This is the first article, guys. A progressive uniform civil code must protect the child's best interest, right? So here, with respect to this article, the author is Faizan Mustafa, and in the introduction part, he have been discussing about the special session, what the government is going to commence on the September 18 and to 22, right? So in that special session, it is expected that the government, they may discuss the provisions related to the Uniform Civil Code. And with respect to Uniform Civil Code, it is a part of the DPSP, right? But before getting there, let me explain a brief tenet about the law structure what we are having in India. In India, we are having 2 variants of law. One is civil and another one is criminal, right? With respect to criminal law, it is applicable to each and every citizen who is living in India. But with respect to civil law, we are having numerous acts. Why we are having numerous acts? Because we are having a huge diverse in culture. We are having numerous religion, caste. So that's what we are having multiple enactments to enforce the civil code and to satisfy the aspirations of the society. Okay. So here the government, they are thinking that the time has arrived to enforce the uniform civil code across the India. So the Uniform Civil Code, it is mentioned in the Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, which is a part of Directive Principles of State Policy. So the Directive Principles of State Policy, it is located in the Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. In Part 3, we are having a fundamental rights. So if the provisions of the DPSP is getting violated by the state means, you can't approach the court because they are not legally enforceable as like fundamental rights. So if any state apparatus, if they are breaching the rights means, then you can approach the court because the fundamental rights are legally enforceable. But it is not so with respect to the Directive Principles of State Policy. So if the government, they are going to enforce Uniform Civil Code across India means, it will be having impact on matrimonial relationship, polygamy, then on inheritance, right? But in the article, they have been discussing something else, which is the child adoption. So how we are going to maintain the provisions related to the child adoption in the Uniform Civil Code, this is what the article have been discussing. And with respect to child adoption in India, we are having a Guardian and Ward Act 1890. So the prime motive of the Guardian and Ward Act is to ensure the welfare of child. So this is the prime motive of the Guardian and Ward Act. It have been governing the principles which are related to the child adoption in India. Because in most of the cases, the child, they are being put up for adoption. But child rights, it often takes a backseat in the process, right? In the child adoption process, generally, the children, they will be going through several trauma, especially during the court hearings. So they don't have command over the custody also because they will be a minor. And in the floor of court, they don't know anything about the proceedings and all. So it will be causing trauma to them. So that's what we are having several provisions in India, and one among them is Guardian and Ward Act. Then we are having Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. So under that we are having one provision which is the Section 6. It deals with the custodial ownership of a child. So generally under the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, we can say that biological father, he is having the commanding power over the custodial ownership of a child. So the law also states that the father is having enormous power, especially the biological father is having enormous power over the custodial ownership, and it states and accreditates the biological father as a supreme with respect to the custodial ownership, right? So in certain cases, the father, he may not be available or he may not be mentally sound, right? So in that circumstances, the biological mother will be a custodial owner. So this is what the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act has been defining. Then in the article, they have been discussing about numerous provisions related to the Islamic law. Among the various schools of law, so each and every school of law is found to be having some positives and negatives, right? But we no need to memorize anything related to the detail what they had provided within that Islamic law provisions. Moreover, with respect to the adoption cases, after filing the case, the court generally they will transfer the case to Child Welfare Committee. In each and every district, we are having a Child Welfare Committee, and it came into existence through the Juvenile Justice Act 2015. Okay, in the year 2015, the central government they enacted the Juvenile Justice Act, and it have been accorded statutory power to the Child Welfare Committee. In Child Welfare Committee, we will be having several experts related to the child health and welfare, right? So here in the article, they have been discussing about several judgments. Among them, the Bombay Court judgment is highly important. So in the Bombay High Court judgment, what it happened exactly is, a boy and a girl, they loved together and they married. So they actually have given birth to one child. And in the floor of court, the girl's parent, they registered a rape case against the boy. When the boy facing the proceedings in the floor of court, their child, actually it was given to some adoptive parents, and later, after some 3-4 years, the Bombay High Court, it actually had took up the case and they revert back their original decisions and they accredit the biological father as a custodial owner. So I hope you can trace how the law have been functioning here. Here the High Court, the Bombay High Court, they pronounced the judgment only based on the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. So by throwing highlights on the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, they accredit the biological father as a custodial owner. So after the court proceedings, the child was given back to the biological father and the biological mother. But it created trauma not only to the child but also to the adoptive parents. So this is what they have been discussing in the article. Okay. So actually a boy and a girl, they loved together and they married. They have given birth to a child. And the girl's family, they registered a case in the court, that too a rape case against the boy. While boy and girl, they have been facing the proceedings in the court, the child, their own child, it has been given to some adoptive parents. And after the completion of the proceedings in the court, this boy and girl, they actually filed a suit against the adoptive parents. Then the court, it reverted back the Child Welfare Committee's decisions, and it actually had given back the child to their biological parents. So this is what actually had happened. And with respect to the case, it created trauma not only to the child but also to the adoptive parents, right? So this is what the author also have been quoting in the conclusion part. Then he is stating that the biological parents, they should not be considered as a sole owners to the child, because equally the adoptive parents also sharing the emotions to the child what they have been adopting. So therefore, in the Uniform Civil Code, the government, they should not give upper hand to their biological parents alone. They should consider the adoptive parents in equal foot. So this is the conclusion the author have been making. And with respect to the subjectivity, generally the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, it is having subjectivity. It have been accrediting the biological father as a prime custodial owner for the child. So these issues, it needed to be sorted out. So this is what the conclusion have been stating. The biological parents, they should not be considered as a sole owners, and the adoptive parents also should be given equal footage. Then the subjectivity in Hindu minority and guardianship law has to be curtailed, which states that the biological father as a prime custodial owner. So these issues needed to be sorted out in the Uniform Civil Code. Okay. So let us wind up this article here. Let us move on to the next one. This is the second article, guys. ONDC a pivotal force to set to enhance the digital commerce. So the Deloitte India, it is a Big Four company. They actually released a report and they stated that by 2030, the open network for digital commerce, it is supposed to achieve a 350 billion mark. So this was the statement made by the Deloitte India report. So with respect to this article, we will be seeing what is meant by ONDC and what are the advantages we are having, then what are the challenges we are having with respect to the open network for digital commerce. And here in the image, you can see we are having a diagram, right? So here, the consumers and the manufacturers, they all are in their respective ends. And here you can see this is the marketplace. So this is the digital marketplace, and here the buyers and the sellers, they will be gathering together and they will be achieving the fair deal among them. Okay. So clearly open network digital commerce, it have been eliminating the intermediaries in the transactions. So that's what it will fetch huge profit to the manufacturers. Also, it will ensure a better price to the consumers, right? So that's what the people have been gathering in the open network of digital commerce. Rather than the Amazon and the Flipkart and all, they will be charging hefty commissions for the transactions, right? So from the manufacturer end, they will be asking some 20 to 30% transaction charges and all. But with respect to the open network digital commerce, we won't be having any transaction, guys. Then within the digital platforms, there are several platforms are there. Some platforms, they have been fetching some 5% commission for their transactions, but they won't be having enough traffic. So with respect to the transactions, especially in the digital domain, if we are having huge traffic means, then the conversion rate will be very higher. Let's say if 100 people are visiting your website means almost 2 people, they will be purchasing the goods. So moreover, if we are having crores and crores of traffic in the website means, then the conversion rate and the volume of transaction will be very high. So this is the prime motive behind the government initiative on open network digital commerce, right? Here they have given about the open network digital commerce. So it has been operating under the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade by the Ministry of Commerce, right? So here basically, guys, as I already told you, ONDC, it is a digital platform. It will be gathering sellers and brand owners in one end, and it will be gathering consumers in another end, and it will be acting as a interlink between these two variants of people, and it has been aiding them in conducting the transactions in a fair way. So in Amazon and in Flipkart and all, you will be seeing the manipulation of prices, right? So these manipulations and all, it won't be there in the ONDC. And it will also ensure a decent profit to the manufacturers and the brand owners, and it will provide better pricing to the consumers. So this is the main idea behind the ONDC. In some circumstances, the digital giants like Amazon and Flipkart and all, they will be providing deep discounts, right? So those deep discounts and all will be curtailed in the open network digital commerce, and almost government, they came up with certain rules related to the deep discounts and all, but it is strictly prohibited in the open network digital commerce. And open network digital commerce, it works as a network of interconnected e-marketplaces through which sellers, including brands, can list and sell their products directly to customers by bypassing any middleman or intermediaries. Generally, guys, in the transaction, these middlemen, they will be fetching huge profits, right? By involving in the transaction of goods, they will be fetching massive profits. So in turn, what it will happen? In the consumer end, the consumers will be paying higher price for their goods, right? So here in the ONDC platform, we are eliminating the middleman. Therefore, there is no room for massive profits and all. So the consumers will be getting a fair price for the goods what they are going to get, and the manufacturers, they will get a decent profits. So this is the main idea behind the ONDC. Then ONDC these days, they have been involving in several service related activities also. So they are involving in food delivery, then groceries delivery, then home decor, cleaning essentials and all. So through their delivery system, they have been providing these goods to the consumer end. Then what are the potential benefits we are having? The first one is transparency. So with respect to the transactions, you will be getting a better price. Moreover, the manufacturers, they will be getting a better profit. There won't be any hidden principles in the transactions. Then secondly, diversified choices. Almost 85 lakh goods have been shortlisted in the open network digital commerce. So almost 50,000 sellers are there in the ONDC platforms. So you are having multiple choices. But with respect to Amazon and Flipkart and all, they are having their own sellers and they will be selling the goods at the price what they want, right? So it won't happen in the open network digital commerce system. Then innovation. The government, they will be providing data to the startups. So the startups, they can forecast the demand and they can devise their production systems in such a way to satisfy the future demands. So in this way, it has been supporting the innovation in the startup ecosystem. Then the fourth one is cost saving. Here guys, in the transaction, we are eliminating the middlemen, right? So there won't be any price shoot up by the middleman or any intermediaries. So it will save huge cost to the consumers. Then protecting the consumers' interest. So they are having their own mechanism to address the grievances in the open network digital commerce platform. So that's how they have been protecting the consumers' interest. Then what are the challenges we are having? The first one with respect to the complexity. As I already told you, in Amazon and in Flipkart and all, you will be having single user interface. But with respect to ONDC, we are having different platforms for different goods. So it have been actually creating a complexity in the system what we are having. So therefore, it has been also affecting the volume of transactions what it is happening in open network digital commerce platform. Then increase in disputes. Guys, basically, the transaction has been happening online, but the delivery of goods and all has been going through the offline mode. So here, we are depending on several logistic partners and it has been creating numerous issues between the customer and between the seller or the manufacturer end. Okay. Then the third one is related to lack of robust grievance redressal. So here guys, we are having a grievance redressal mechanism, but how efficient it has been working is a question mark. So that is the third challenge we are having. So in the absence of the robust grievance redressal mechanism, it will affect the traffic into the open network digital commerce. So in the long run, it may also affect the profit what the ONDC is supposed to achieve. So with respect to this article, we had discussed what is meant by ONDC and how it has been operating. Then what are the potential benefits we are having over the ONDC? Then what are the challenges we are facing in the open network digital commerce platforms, right? So I hope if you are getting any question means, I hope you can elucidate the answer in such a way the question demands, right? So let us wind up this article here. Let us move on to the next one. This is the third article, guys. After India, Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia protest China's map. So recently we all well known, we conducted a BRICS summit in South Africa, that too in Johannesburg, right? So after the summit, China, they unveiled the standard map for 2023, which actually have been showing the regions of India, especially the Arunachal Pradesh and Akshay Chin, as China's own territory. And it also accommodating the entire South China Sea as their own territory. So this have been causing the repercussions in the countries like India, Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay. And moreover, with respect to this issue, UN Convention on the Law of Sea, they stated that the regions which are locating after the exclusive economic zone, it belongs to the jurisdiction of the UN Convention on the Law of Sea and the International Seabed Authority. So this is what the statement made by the UN organization. And here guys, in the image you can see, so here we are having an Akshay Chin, right? So in the recent map, they actually have been showing the entire region in the Akshay Chin as their own territory. Okay. Then here we are having Tawang. So already Tawang is a disputed region. And in these days, especially after the standard map of 2023, China has been claiming entire Arunachal Pradesh as their own territory. And moreover, guys, in the year 2019, let me tell you one issue. In the year 2019, the Indian government, they actually diluted the provisions of the Article 370. and by that they accorded union territory status to the Kashmir and Ladakh regions. But China at that time, it had taken the issue to United Nations. But after raising their voice against the Chinese map, the China have been stating that India has been complicating the issue. So this was the statement made by China. I hope you would have understand. So in the year 2019, we actually diluted the provisions of 370 and we accorded the union territory status to Jammu and Kashmir and to the Ladakh region. So it is an internal matter. But China at that time, it had taken the issue to UN. But now China has been showing India's own regional or India's own territory as their own territory, and it is stating that India has been complicating the case, right? So this was the statement made by China with respect to the standard map issue. Now we are having South China Sea. So here we are having Paracel Island, and here we are having Gulf of Tonkin, and here this is the 9-dash line, right? So 9 dashes will be there. So that's what we are calling it as a 9-dash line. And here we are having Spratly Island, then Balabar Strait, then Nindara Strait, then Scarborough Shoal, then Pratas Island, right? So these all territories in the South China Sea is a disputed territories, and most of the territories, they are having a dispute between China and the countries which are locating in the South China Sea. And here we are having a Luzon Strait, right? So before 2 months, the Chinese marine vessel, they actually intercepted the Taiwanese vessel in the Luzon Strait. So it actually created skirmishes in the entire South China Sea region, right? So this is with respect to the South China Sea map. Now let us wind up this article here. Let us move on to the next one. This is the 4th article, guys. Assam-based oncologist Ravi Kannan wins 2023 Raman Magsaysay Award. So Ravi Kannan, he is an oncologist. Oncologist means who are having specialization in cancer treatment. And he established a hospital in Silchar. The hospital name is Cancer Hospital and Research Center. So it has been awarded with the Raman Magsaysay Award. So previously, he had been working in Adyar Cancer Institute. So that organizations also have been providing palliative care to the cancer patients, who especially to the downtrodden of the society. Okay. So with respect to this article, we need to know what is meant by Raman Magsaysay Award. So it was established in the year 1957 and it is considered as Asia's premier prize and highest honor. It is named after Raman Magsaysay, the 3rd president of the Republic of Philippines, and he is the one who achieved the membership in SEATO. Okay. So he actually got the membership for Philippines in SEATO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organizations. Then the award recognizes and honor the individuals and organizations in Asia regardless of race, creed, gender or nationality. And these awards, the Raman Magsaysay Award, primarily it has been provided to the people who achieved certain distinctions and people who helped others to achieve something in their life. So here it had been provided that who have achieved a distinction and have helped others generously without aiming for public recognition. So with respect to Raman Magsaysay Award in India, we are having Vinoba Bhave, then Arvind Kejriwal, then Mother Teresa. So these all people, they actually achieved Raman Magsaysay Award. And till 2009, awards were traditionally given in 5 categories, but right now it has been diverged into various fields. So if the individual is having certain qualities for leadership means, the award has been provided. And this award, it is internationally recognized as the Nobel Prize counterpart of Asia. Okay, so that is the significant the award has been having. So guys, with respect to this article, we have seen what is Raman Magsaysay Award and to whom the award has been provided and who is Ravi Kannan and what's his work in Assam, right? So these are the few stuffs we have seen in our 4th article. Now let us wind up this article here. Let us move on to the next one. This is the last article, guys. Chandrayaan probe finds sparse plasma on the moon. Okay, so the payload in Chandrayaan 3, it actually states that the plasma level in the lunar surface is very low. And here with respect to the probe, we are having one sensor, the radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and atmosphere. So its short name is Ramba LP. So this is the sensor. It has been provided detail related to the existence of plasma and the composition of the ionosphere in the lunar surface. Okay. With respect to Chandrayaan 3, we all well known, it was launched by LVM Mark 3 vehicle. It is a GSLV variant. And the LVM Mark 3 variant, it composed of 3 stages, 2 solid and 1 liquid. So upper stage is liquid C225 engine, and we are having strap-on boosters in the 2 solid stages of the vehicle. Okay. And it actually did a soft landing in Moon on August 23. Then the Pragyan rover, it has been introspecting the region. So within the Pragyan rover, we were having several instruments. One among them is Ramba LP. So they also did an assessment in the lunar surface also, and it finds that after boring to 8 to 10 centimeter, the Pragyan rover, it finds that there is a temperature inversion in the lunar surface. So these are the few findings we got recently, and moreover in the upcoming days we will be getting some facts. Let us discuss everything whenever we are finding the facts related to Chandrayaan 3. So with respect to the article discussion, today we have seen an article related to Uniform Civil Code. Then secondly, we have seen an article related to Open Network Digital Commerce. In that, we actually had discussed about how the system have been functioning and what is meant by ONDC, then what are the advantages we are having, then what are the challenges ONDC has been facing. Then thirdly, we had discussed about the Chinese issue over the map, what they had unveiled recently. Okay, so this is the third article. In that, we have discussed about the mappings with respect to the South China Sea and with respect to the Indochina. Then fourthly, we have seen an article related to Raman Magsaysay Award. So why Dr. Ravikannan has been awarded with the Raman Magsaysay Award and what is meant by Raman Magsaysay Award. So these are the contexts we had discussed in the fourth article. Then the last one is related to Chandrayaan 3 probe findings. So the sparse plasma on the moon has been found out by the Chandrayaan 3 probe. Okay, so these are the few stuffs we had discussed here. So let us wind up the discussion part here. Let us move on to the question part. This is the mains question for you. Discuss the Uniform Civil Code. Examine the impact of Uniform Civil Code on socio-cultural domains in India. This is highly a generalized question. I hope you can put a more number of points with respect to the given question, right? So here you can include the child adoption perspective also. So apart from inheritance, then matrimonial relations, then after the polygamy, you can also include tenets related to child adoption techniques, right? So this is the prelims question for you guys. Consider the statements related to Chandrayaan 3. So it is the orbiter lander rover configuration. So basically guys, the Chandrayaan 3 is a lander rover configuration and it has been utilizing the potential of the orbiter what we kept under the Chandrayaan 2 mission. Okay. So the first option is wrong. Second, Ramba LP is a module to measure the plasma. Absolutely right. This is what we had discussed in today's discussion. Then the Chandrayaan 3 was launched by LVM 3. This LVM 3 is a GSLV variant and it composed of 3 stages, 2 solid and 1 liquid stages. Okay. So 2 options are right, 2 statements are correct. Answer option B is the right one for question number 1. Then this is the second question for you. Luzon Strait is appeared in news, is located in Mediterranean Sea, South China Sea, Atlantic Ocean and Black Sea. So Luzon Strait, it has been connecting Philippine Sea with the South China Sea. So therefore, the answer option B is the right one for question number 2. So finally, we are arriving at the end of the discussion. I hope you would be liking this discussion. Kindly press the like button and let me catch you in another discussion tomorrow. Thank you for your patience, guys. Bye.